Hello and welcome to the end of season 3 awards for the Formula One section of League of Europe. Alongside me with their best tuxedos on for this prestigious occasion is J. Cole and Gary. How are you guys doing?
I'm in Charlotte once a month, so I'm here for a very good time here.
Here we go. So this is the ever looked forward to awards that are voted mainly by, well, all of them pretty much by yourself, as we've had over 60 responses for the awards, which has been great. So thank you guys for that. So yeah, on to, I suppose, our opinions. We'll put our opinions in a little bit before we reveal everything, and yeah, just kind of a bit of a bigger recap, if you like, and a more light-hearted recap than the ones that everyone had been doing for the D4 and D3 and D2 season reviews. Who wants to lead the first one then?
Since I'm in this one, I may as well go, since you aren't good enough for this, but it is the Champion of Champions. So the nominations are, in Division 1, Alphatrix, Division 2, myself, Division 3, Ben, and Division 4, Ryan. And do you want to talk about the drivers first, or we just go straight in and then talk about them?
I suppose we could talk about the drivers first. Give a bit of suspense. Why not?
Yeah, make the way. So we'll start off with Alphatrix, and this guy, came out from the shadows almost of God knows where. No one knows where he's from. No one knows how he got here, but he's here, and he left his mark, being arguably the best player on PS4 in Lewis. Lewis obviously can say that he missed a few races, which is fair enough, but yeah, Alphatrix was quality. Don't know what you guys think, but he was very good this season.
I think the back end of the season impressed me more after he was getting a tan in from Lewis. But the fact he actually stood toe to toe with him, and then beat him a couple of times towards the end to kind of seal it was a pretty big deal, I think. Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, I mean, me personally, he wouldn't be my champion of champions for the first time ever. I don't think I'd vote for the person that won D1 because of Lewis missed quite a few races early on.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, actually.
But an incredibly quick guy, and like you say, he's just a great addition to the league, really.
Yeah, I totally agree. J. Cole, you got anything to add on Big L Alphatrix?
I mean, like Mark has said, he was in it from the beginning of the season. Lewis came in from about 3 or 4 races in the middle. As you're saying, going toe to toe with him. It's not even as if Lewis was just absolutely dominating every single race. Alphatrix was there with him. It was just absolutely insane to seeing someone that was actually matching and even beating Lewis as well. So, I mean, like you're saying, it could be in the conversation for best player on a PS4 with Lewis. Who knows?
I agree. And next nominations myself.
Who
I
is
don't
not
know
who
this.
is not the best player on PS4?
Far from the best. Far from the best, but I like to think I am. I like to think I am. But I can let you. I won't stroke my ego too much, so I can let you. I'll let you guys talk about me. I'll
You know
just
what?
say
I was
this.
actually about to say the exact same thing. We don't want to boast his ego too much, but I guess we've got to do it in some way. Um,
Yeah.
Admittedly, that was probably one of course, Alphatrix is one. We can't take anything away from that, saying that it was a difficult title fight, but the amount of people that were also in this title fight for D2, with Gary coming out on top of it. I mean, at one point there was about 9 people that were in a shot of winning this title, and that was towards the middle of the season. So you can see how close it was between that whole division. So, by no means am I saying Alphatrix's one was easy, because again, Lewis being his competition, but with Gary's one, it was definitely. I would say it was a lot harder because of the amount, because of how close that whole division was.
Hmm. Yeah. I think the only thing I'd probably add as well is that it was very different in nature as a title win. And there's two ways to look at it, I suppose. It's, do you value, that kind of close title fight, that very, almost quite tense, if you like, or do you value Ben JS, obviously, flying away and dominating the league, or do you value Ryan's comeback? Or do you value the fact that Alphatrix had to defend the lead against the quickest guy on PS4? They're all actually they're four completely different title wins, actually.
They are, yeah, that's very true, actually. Yeah, so definitely a big different combinations in how to win a title. Shows it's not one way. There's many blueprints, but Then the next champion was Ben, who we just touched on quickly. He absolutely walked Division 3. Deservedly won it, but I think us as Ors can probably hold our hands up and say he probably shouldn't have been put in there.
Well, up until Italy, because I commentated on Italy, and he had a massive incident with someone. I think it might have been Bag of Bones or something. With someone else. It was a mad race, that race. Anyway, I remember just scratching my head. And he was making mistakes, but after that, he did none pretty much for the rest of the season. So it was only up to that point. He was winning, but it wasn't clear, very patchy. Yeah. So fair play to him for just pulling it out.
I mean, like Mark was saying as well, I don't think he was actually anywhere. Well, I say anywhere. He was in a title fight with Tun until Tun decided to do a Casper and just disappear. But then when Ben properly stepped it up when it came to, even when Tun was gone, and you had the likes of Callum, Tiger, even Packer all trying to battle him for that lead of the race, Ben was still just pushing out results and putting it on top. As I said, Callum, Tiger, and Packer all gave him a good fight, but it weren't enough for the likes of maybe even Bree as well, because Bree was the other one that was in that title fight. I think if Bree had done a bit more, it would have been a lot closer, but I think Ben was just in another one of his own and just absolutely smashed it.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. But and then the last Division 4 champion, XL Ryan, he probably out of the three of us, out of four of us even, sorry, he's probably the one that had the most work to do. He really put the head down after, I think it was around Belgium time. That's when he started really catching Jasper, and he didn't look back. And in the end, he pretty much walked it. He put in a lot of practice and effort, and he definitely deserved that championship.
Yeah. I mean, he the big thing for Ryan's kind of performance towards the end of it was he looked like he didn't belong in the division.
Yeah.
Which wasn't the case for the first half of the season. So that's kind of that tells its own story, really. That's kind of what that's what the bottom division should be. I think of any league, you should start to see people improve drastically. At least one or two or three that you can clearly tell don't belong in the bottom division for the next season. So that kind of done its job, probably along with, I don't know, to a degree, depends what happens, but Don, Jasper, I know I'm going to miss someone else. Yeren as well. But yeah, and quite a few of the guys that were really, really quite pacey compared to the others around.
I mean, like you were saying as well, Gary, it's like you felt like that Ryan probably had the most work to do from building that back up. I mean, like you was also saying, come back from Belgium. I think it was even before that, because I remember back in a couple of even the start of the races, Ryan was sort of like within the top 6, top 7, and then D4 started to get a bit quicker, and then Jasper started walking away with it, and same with Raj, even though he decided to become a reserve for whatever reason. Jasper obviously then started taking it, and then Ryan, I don't know what had happened. Someone must have stuck a stick up his ass, and he just went straight for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to put it, I think. But yeah, like something happened to him, and he was deserved champion. But so I'll get into the results now. Cue the drama music, the dramatic music. So in fourth place we have Ben with 6.8% votes. In third, we have Ryan with 8.5% votes. In second, you have myself with 27.1% votes, which means, of course, with a whopping 57.6% of the votes, which everyone can see. I should have said that at the start, but you can see it on your screen now. Alphatrix wins. I think he's deserving champion of champions. I don't know what you guys think, but I think he deserves that.
Well, I've got terrible taste because I don't know actually who I voted for in this now. I can't remember, but I'm probably looking at it. I genuinely think Ben. I would vote for Ben, who's got the least amount of votes. So ignore me. My taste in this is absolutely dreadful. Clearly.
No, as I said, like with how difficult Lewis is of a challenger, you know, I mean, I can see how everyone went for Alphatrix on that one because, as I said as well, with him being new to the league, new to PS4, because I think he drove on Xbox One if I'm not mistaken, coming over to PS4, and then absolutely smashing it out of the park, even beating Lewis wheel to wheel. That's not something a lot of people on PS4 can say they've done. So, I
Exactly.
mean, I'd say it is deserved. It's deserved.
Yeah, definitely. And just a quick disclaimer: I didn't vote for myself. Just putting that out there. Didn't vote for myself. So, do you want me to continue on, guys, or does someone else want to do? Jacob, you're a commentator. You can do a commentator season.
Well, we've actually got one just before that. We've actually got the best newcomer to start off with. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we got the best newcomer. So I mean, if anyone wants to take that, and I'll do the commentator, I do not mind.
All right. Okay.
Go on, Mark.
I'll do best newcomer then. So we've got 4 nominees, I should say. And first up is NSX Alonso, who is no longer in the league, so I hope no one voted for him. Second, we have Alphatrix, who's been voted in this. Third, we have McCrew. And fourth, we have Ryan. So we've got 2 of the champions that have been nominated in here alongside McCrew and Alonso. First up, bit of a spicy take. I wouldn't have put Alphatrix in this.
I mean, from my understanding, I wasn't put in other nominations because I was in the Champion of Champions one. So it's quite interesting to see Alphatrix is here, and I'm nowhere else. And I'm Ryan's here as well, and I am nowhere else to be seen. But yeah, I can
You're not a
understand.
newcomer, are ya?
I'm not any other award. But no, I can understand why Altrix got nominated. Even
Of course,
yeah.
but
I can see where you're coming from. Yeah.
the fact he's won the big one. This is a bit, okay. Yeah, I suppose any thoughts? Run through if we run through these guys. I mean, Alonso.
He's irrelevant.
It's a tough one. I mean, it's a tough one. I'm convinced he's Neo. That's kind of all I have to say on it. And he was a quick guy and a really nice guy. So good luck to him. Whatever he's on to next. Any other thoughts on Alonso?
Good to see you back in the league, Neo.
See you next season, Alonso. See you next season.
I think that's it, isn't it? There's nothing else to add. Obviously, we spoke about Alphatrix, so I don't think there's too much need to although he's done fantastic. So kudos to him. McCrew, okay.
I love this man.
The one thing I'd probably say about McCrew is that this isn't. I don't think this is the nature of the award, but he and a lot of others this season as newcomers have kind of come in and really embraced LOE and become part of the community. So I do rate McCrew and glad to see him nominated for something. And you especially will like the fact that he's done something this season.
I just want to touch on that as well. Like McCrew at the beginning of the season, he wasn't really anywhere towards the top or even in the middle, and then it was more as like a back marker.
Yeah.
Of course, obviously, as you
Yeah,
said,
just
Bahrain, he was towards he was obviously towards the top with you as well, Gary. But I mean, McCrew, he massively improved from that start of the season, and obviously managed to pick up a win at Brazil. And so, with that improvement, I mean, who knows what he's going to do next season, depending on what division he's in. If he's in D2, there's a high chance he could win that. If he's in D1, I mean, it could also be well deserved. It's just, you never know with it.
yeah, I'd have to agree. He's gone on an upward trajectory definitely from the start of this season. I think he was on medium TC when he first joined as well, and he's gone up TC as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, that links well with him improving as well, I guess. And yeah, he's been a great addition to the league. All these guys have been great additions to the league, and hopefully they stay for a lot longer.
Agreed. So, I will run through the results. In fourth place, with a percentile so small I can't actually see it. That's one vote for NSX Alonso. A bit mean. I think maybe that's just because no one believed he was a newcomer. In third place with 8.3% is McCrew. In second place we have XL Ryan with 25%, and the winner, which is no surprise, is Alpha Trix with 65%. So that's 2 from 2 on the LOE Alpha Trix Appreciation Award ceremony so far.
That's all you're getting. No, it is well deserved though. Like I said, Alphatrix had probably, as I said, the most tough opponent to try and beat the championship to, and he did it. So it's well deserved for Alphatrix. Well, I say congratulations for that one, and as I said, hopefully we'll see another battle like that next season. Right, on to the one where I've been absolutely shagged on, the commentator of the season. So, we've got 5 nominations for this one. We've got, of course, James from Division 1, Dakar and Verstappen from Division 2, myself from Division 3, and Iberbrun Mike from Division 4. Now, just touching on each of these guys as well. James from Division 1, of course, you know, he done the majority of the season on his own. I sort of pitched in towards the end of the season. But James, you know, he's been here for 2 seasons now, and I don't think there's anyone else that I can think of that's in this league that we'd rather have do Division 1. He's done an absolute stellar performance of it. I don't think there's anything else to really say. I don't want to particularly be boosting up his ego too much. Otherwise,
Season.
yeah. And you're still going. We're still going with it. But no, as I said, I don't think there's anyone else that would rather have go for D1, and I think he's done an absolute stellar performance of it.
Yeah, just quickly, yeah, he's been, for, like I said, 2 seasons now. He's been here, and he's really embraced. Even like he's embraced the league as well. Like he hops in on GT Sport and everything. He races, he commentates, he does a bit of everything. He's a great
Plugs the
asset.
league like in random commentary.
Yeah. So yeah, James he's been a great asset for a commentator for us, and hopefully he sticks around as well.
And certainly have. And of course, with the duo of the Dakar and Verstappen crew of Division 2, a little bit of a rhyme there. I mean, of course, these 2 guys, I mean, Dakar, I know he did sort of part way in D1 towards the middle of the season, and maybe was just focusing on doing comms for D2. And of course, with the absolute stellar racing that we've had this season in Division 2, not trying to toot our own horns here, but it's been absolutely insane. And of course, he's absolutely embraced it, and it's just been absolutely insane. And same with Verstappen. I mean, this was his first season of actually doing comms, and I think that's something that's gone a bit unnoticed, and he's done a very good job of it as well, considering that English isn't even his first language.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. And to be fair, I don't think I'm a bit surprised they kind of got nominated as. I know they're different commentators, but they're almost hard to slice down the middle in a way.
I wish that they were. I know it's hard to put as a combo, but I wish it was like you could both vote for both. You know what I mean? Because they're. I mean, I know Dan's a great commentator, but like they're together. I don't know, but like I wish they could vote with them instead of just individually. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't really want to say anything on myself. You guys got anything nice to say about me?
No, no.
Fair.
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what.
We'll come to that. We'll come to it.
I tell you what. I was really impressed with from just hopping in at D3 is that how you kind of kept up with a lot of the action, and you did seem to get most of the incidents on stream. Because I was struggling because they're all over the show in D3 some races, to be honest. So now fair play to you for managing to do that.
What I will say on D3 though is like I don't want to sound rude with it or anything like that. It was more that was division was like the derby of the actual league, I suppose. Of course, there was definitely some great racing at the time. There was definitely great racing. As you were saying, Mark, the Italy race was just. I got no words for the Italy race. That was probably the best race of the season for D3, but which we'll probably touch on a little bit later on. But even then, like despite how manic it was still a good. It was still definitely a good division to commentate on. I also just want to say before we do carry on with that, thank you very much to commentalist Dylan, Matty G, and McCrew for all help covering it at the time as well. I think it was just stuff that was going on at the time which I couldn't help, and also probably a couple of times where I was feeling a little bit lazy. I'm not going to lie, but they were there to help anyway. And also towards the end of the season. No, also towards the end of the season as well, for when I was going with James, it was massive help for those guys to hop in and do comms for D3 as well. So big thank you for that one as well. And then moving on to the final commentator, of course, is Ira Mike for Division 4. Now I know he's been in LOE for since season 1. He's done comms for D2, for D4, and I think also D3. No, he didn't do one for D3, did he? He's done D2 for, I think it was 2 seasons before this season, and then done Division 4, of course, for the final season. Anything you got to touch on for Mike at all?
That's just like overall general for the comms. Like, there's a big appreciation. Like, we get great races, but without the comms, we can't broadcast them and show them on YouTube and stuff. So, just thank you to all the comms in general, to be honest, because like I say, without them we can't show the races, and obviously they've helped the league grow. We've had a massive, it's probably our biggest growth in a season ever, so these guys play a big part in that, so just thank you to all of them, even the ones that haven't been nominated.
Yeah, and I think on either I mean, we have to like Verstappen. I'm pretty sure English isn't his first language. I mean, maybe. I don't know. But in all seriousness, he's like kind of become part of D4 as well.
Yeah.
You know, and like a lot of the commentators do, and I think he feels. I'm glad he feels home at D4 because he'll probably find out in a few weeks.
Yeah. I wanted to say something like that, but then I thought, nah. So thank you for that one, Mark.
Yeah. So no, well done to everyone, I suppose.
Right, we'll get on with the results for it then. So, it's actually joint 4th place.
Joint last.
Yeah, I'll put it as joint 4th place. Is Verstappen and myself on 8.3% apiece. In 3rd place is Ira Mike for Division 4. In 2nd place is James for Division 1. So that means the one that has taken the cake and taken the win for it is Daka for Division 2. He was on a whopping 50%. Half of the responses voted for Daka and 20% voted for James. So congrats to Daka for taking the award for Commentator of the Season.
I also like to give that award to Verstappen. Commentator.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I do feel a little bit sorry for Verstappen because he's been there every race. He's done comms on his own when Dan hasn't been able to come. So big shout out to Dan, to Verstappen. I think they should half that award, if I'm being honest. But
no, actually, 3 ways because James did a race in D2 as well.
Yeah, the 3 ways, boys. Well done. You're all the commentator of the season. Well done. Yeah.
Just as long as I lose is fine, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
So I think the next award, if I'm not wrong, is most improved driver. Am I correct in saying that?
You are indeed correct in saying that.
So the nominations are QVR Campbell in Division 1, QVR Nico in Division 2, also known as Ruben Barrichello, Packer in Division 3, and Jasper in Division 4. This is actually very tight. Awards, just have noticing. But yeah, so we'll get on to the results then. In fourth place with 16.9% of the votes, we have Packer. In third place, we have Jasper with 18.6%, and we have joint winners. Both have 32.2%. So I award this to Nico. Nico finally gets his win. He deserves it. So yeah, I don't know what we can do here, but I give it to Nico because I'm biased. Yeah.
That's fine. I don't like Scottish people.
Same. No one argues with fine. Let's move on. So congrats, Nico, and tough Campbell. Tough choice.
Second time he's now been shagged in a season award. Nah,
I
think Campbell is. I think it's Campbell. I think it's Cam. Well, no. To be fair, it's both of them that have got it. They both deserve it. I mean, like I said, Campbell taking a win in D1, Nico getting close to getting a win in D2, just from D3 as well. Both of those guys getting promoted. Both of them doing absolutely smashing the division. Well, not smashing it, but done very well in their respective divisions. So both deserve it.
Yeah, both deserve it. Yeah, we'll give it to both. Yeah. So I think the next award is most consistent driver.
And I'll let one of the XL guys do it, considering that 3 of the 4 people in it are XL.
I mean, I don't understand why I'm not in this one, but anyway, Mark, you can take us through this.
Yeah, Gary only got points every race that he started.
I only scored points in every single race that I did, but like, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, but onto the actual, onto the most consistent people, which is Don, XL Don, Ben JS, XL Dan, and Niwa Luigi. So we will go on and reveal that last but not least on this, with 15.3%, which is a good response, is Don. Third is the bastion of consistent for all this season, Niwa Luigi with 22%, which means that second is Ben JS with 23.7, meaning that XL Dan picks up the win with 39%, and I would probably say that's spot on, that award.
No comment.
No, I'd definitely say it would be. I mean, to be fair, I think Gary should have been in this award. I must admit, but no, as I said, Dan, he's been consistent throughout. Even though, even if we're having a bad qualifying, he'll still, in the race, he'll still make it up. That's where it mainly matters, is in that race, and he still does. He still does well. There's no way that you can say Dan isn't consistent at all.
No, definitely not. Just to get serious for a second, yeah. If I'm not gonna get it, Dan should probably get it. So yeah, congrats to him, and see you next season. So I think the next award is best teammates. Yes.
Yep. Certainly is.
Oh look, I'm not here again. I might sound like a selfish prick, but
yeah, but there's definitely a reason why you're not in this, and we'll keep on reiterating it to you if you want us to.
I mean, there's questionable teams in here, and that's all I'm saying. Questionable teams. But, yeah, Jacob, you can take us through.
Happily. So, for the Division 1 side, we have got the 2 Spaniards that are always in it this season, and I think the ones that usually take it are Joom and Cantera. We've actually got 2 nominees for D2 because we couldn't think of anyone for D3 that were actually a good pairing. We've got the likes of we've got Mark and Killer Blue, and the other pairing of D2 are Dan and B Morgan. And then for D4 we have got Ryan and Kieran. Now, in last place, surprisingly, are the 2 guys that have been winning it previously are both Doom and Cantera on 13.8%. It's very surprising that they're at the bottom of this time. In third place, I think these are actually the guys that won this last season, are Dan and Morgan. So they're at the bottom. They're at third place, sorry, this time. In second place are Ryan and Kieran. So somehow, the ones that took it are Mark and Killer Blue.
I mean,
You got any words for that, Mark?
We're all. You all love to hate us, and you all hate to love us.
It's a typical Ferrari shithousery. We've come used to it this season. I'm not surprised they've managed to pull this out of the bag, if I'm honest. Well, I voted for them anyway, so yeah, I sort of wanted them to win. Yeah, congrats, you finally won something, Mark.
Yeah, it might be the first time.
But next award is the biggest bottler. I'm glad to say I'm not actually nominated for this season.
Yeah.
I've probably been here for. Yay.
Oh, look at you! Look at you, happy you're not nominated for an award.
I'm happy I'm not nominated for award. but the nominations follow are Doom, Super Gamer, Ivor, and Kieran. Or Kieran? Is that no? It's
Kieran.
Kieran. Sorry lads, I'm Irish. We say that differently, but yeah. So I'll just go straight into the results. So in fourth place with 16.7% is Super Gamer.
You can't even win this award.
Can't even win an award. In third place is Kieran with 21.7% of the votes, and in second, Ivor. You're not winning this one with 26.7%, and then Doom with 35% votes. I'm not surprised with Doom because he has race winning pace and he never seems to be able to do it, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, not the best for him at all. Not an award he'll want to be picking up, and I'm sure he won't pick it up next season.
No, definitely not. But anyway, the next result for us is moment of the season. Who would like to take us through this?
I'll do it. I don't mind. I'll do. So first up, we've got Verstappen's win at Spain. Very emotional moment, and yeah, just.
But now around the final couple of corners, Verstappen, a very unlikely win here for the Dutchman. It's going to be a QVR 1-2, I do believe. Penalties can still be added, of course, after the race. Verstappen, through the final corner, takes a dramatic but spicy Spanish Grand Prix.
I can't believe this.
Yes.
Well, come on!
Yes!
Yes!
Nice one, lads.
1-2.
Nice one, lads.
Nice. We've got, following on from that, Cookie crashes under the safety car at Belgium.
Don't laugh, Gary. Don't laugh. Don't laugh.
What the hell is going to happen here? Anything.
And depends if it's going to get down quickly or not. If it's getting out quite quickly, the software
Cookie's got it! Cookie's on the wall! Oh my word! Cookie Games drops it under safety car with interchangeable conditions. I can't believe what I've just seen. Keller is forced to let him through. Cookie with front wing damage now. Gary must not believe his eyes in front of him there. Cookie will be absolutely devastated. He's still got to try and keep the points up, but he's got front wing damage. Gary Donegan may have been gifted this.
Following on from that, we have the chaotic final laps at Italy in Division 3.
Eddie might actually be in luck from this, as Ben has already gone. Here we go, the top 5, sorry, not top 4. Damon's picked himself a 10-second time penalty, but look at this. What is going on with these 5? So, right, we've got 2 laps left to go. We've got the top 5 all together with each other, as Ton now looking to go around the outside of Ben. This is going to be for this championship. They're going 3 wide in North Turn 1. Callum looking to see if he can go down the inside of all of these guys. Oh, bit of a squeeze between the pair of them. Ton has just cut that corner and gotten a 10-second time penalty for that. Callum just squeezing his way down the middle of them, but Ton, a 10-second time penalty for that one. And now Callum gonna opt to go around the outside of Ben. Ben has just driven an absolutely stellar race, and because of that safety car, it's now had that ruined. As Callum has just squeezed out Ben. Packer's now gotten past. JR's now gotten past, and Ben is now down into P5. And Ton is already looking like he's running away from all of these guys. He's still close to the back, but look at that! Look how much Ton has already run away from those guys that are in that pack. And I honestly don't know where anyone's going to end up finishing. Aledi could be the one that ends up winning from all of this at this point. As he is actually the one that has just set the fastest lap of the race. Ben goes for a dive on JR. Oh, he's just smacked JR. And now JR's got wing missing. I don't know if Ben got any wing damage from that either. No, he hasn't. Tiger's just set the fastest lap of the race, but that wasn't a very good move from Ben whatsoever. I know he'd done it because he broke... Well, in fact, I think he broke very early because he just... Or late. I don't know. That was very weird, but it's the final lap of the race. Ben was doing a superb job of leading it throughout the entire way, but because of this safety car, he's now down in P4. But I don't know if he's still going to finish first. Packer could actually be taking a win on this one. I'll say that, he's just picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. So Ben could still be the one that wins this race. I don't know what's going on. I've got no idea what is going on. No idea. But, I mean, Ton is going to be the one that comes across the line in front. Callum takes it. Ben takes second. So Callum has somehow won the race. And Aledi has actually come home and finished P3.
And on to the next one, which is the Jasper is disqualified, kickstarting Ryan's title challenge.
Has timed that perfectly to get past Alt Maverick, as LFC is actually in game chat right now and he is not happy. It's because yellow flag, and that's Jasper. Jasper's around. Jasper is around. Jasper's been disqualified from the session. Oh no, Jasper is out of this race. Disqualified, the championship leader. He's out. Oh my god.
So, what do we think on any of them, really? I suppose open the floor. What can you all remember from these?
I'm going to avoid Gary just chatting about Division 2 one because I know he's going to just absolutely rinse Cookie on this one. It was definitely... I think that's what ruined Cookie's title hope. I think Cookie would have won that title if he did not do what he did in Belgium. Of course, I don't think there's anything that he could help. Because I think it was something to do with his brake pedal not working properly, and I think he got a new pedal and wheel in the end anyway. But I mean, if that didn't happen to Cookie, he would have won the title. Like Gary wouldn't have won that title, Cookie would have won it. So I think that being that moment of the season is how, and no disrespect to Gary at all, but that. I think without that happening, Cookie would have taken the win in the title race, and Gary would have literally lost out probably by 1 point. But saying that, I mean, how it's now shaped out, I think where Cookie had ended up crashing under the safety car then, it started to degrade his confidence a bit, which then allowed Gary to start pulling away a bit further. And then... it's just so I can avoid Gary talking about this because I know he's just going to go on and on and on about this.
I promise I won't.
I mean, also just touching on the other three as well. I mean, Verstappen taking a win at Spain, I think that was one where we was not expecting him to win that by any means. I think, who was it that was ahead at the time? I think it was Alphatrix and something. He got caught up in an incident.
I can't remember exactly what happened.
Yeah, and then I think Verstappen ended up taking the win. it was only by about 2 seconds or something. I think where Alphatrix had a penalty, and Verstappen ended up winning it. And I mean, I think that was the first time that season where we thought that there were definitely other people in Division 1 that can take a win other than just Alphatrix. And
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
Lewis, I don't think actually started racing at that point in the season. I think it was Monaco he started. So when Lewis joined, it was where it started becoming a bit controversial. But I think up until then, it was just Alphatrix and Montana.
Yeah. But yeah, just quickly on the Verstappen win. He got like a lot of unnecessary hate almost for the way he reacted, which I found quite sad and disrespectful because he's only a kid really. Like if you think he's only a kid, and I was like, I think that was his first win in LOE obviously, and he worked very hard for it. And of course we're all passionate when we race. Like as Jimmy Broadbent once said, the cars aren't real, but the racing is. So like obviously he was passionate about it, and I just thought there was nothing wrong with that. I thought it was great to see. It shows how much he cares about the league, about racing. So yeah, that was a highlight for me for the whole season, and all the whole season in general. That was a highlight for me.
There's one thing that I always stand by, which is apologies. Don't just do anything.
Yeah.
Like you hear this word, I hate the word just. It's been something that's been ingrained into me through various different things. One of them being my first ever place of work. Like if you just do something, it's just a game. It's just this. It's only just that. Don't do it. If you're undervaluing why the reason you do it. And I think that's what people miss out on as an idea. If you do something recreationally, whether it's golf or whether it's archery, darts, you should care what the end result is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just because it's a bit of a stigma when it's something that's online or on a video game that people feel
it's a
that.
video game, people don't think it's real. I mean, it feels real to us if we're doing it. You know what I mean? You practice a lot for this, and like you said, if people just say, "Oh, it's just a game," fuck off. It is not just a game. There's actually people actually care about this stuff. But yeah, just to quickly, there was 2 other nominations. Let's just go over quickly. So you did say them, didn't you? Sorry, my fault. Never mind.
Yeah. I think Jasper's DSQ was heartbreaking and just a mess up from the game really. And the chaotic final laps at Italy.
Ben was leading. From
You can't
what
really
I
sum that
remember.
up.
Yeah, Ben, from what I remember, was he was 20 seconds in the lead. Safety car comes out, rain stops. Ben's now all of a sudden back down into, or is like right with all the other guys, and then chaos just erupts. Like I think someone sent the most audacious dive into turn 1, which I think was actually Ben. When he got overtaken, and it just led to an absolute disaster. And I think someone who was like P4, P5 just ended up taking the win.
Yeah. Ton, I think.
I think it was.
Ton.
Callum,
He had to skip the chicane or something.
I think Gary's right. I think it was Callum that actually won that race.
Callum did win that race.
Oh yeah, because Ton got Ton had a penalty. Did it get removed? I see again. Look, there was such a mess. Even we don't know exactly what happened. So
yeah, no. In fact, Ben ended up coming second in that. Ton came third in that. So yeah, I think he was the one that was leading the race that entire time. Ben had 1 penalty. I think Ton had 2, and Callum didn't have any. And I think Callum took it on penalties when he was, I think, P3 at the time.
Yeah.
I think that's how it went. Yeah.
Literally, I think the top 3 from that race literally got reversed because of penalties. But also with that whole collision and the whole instance that went down on that, it just made that absolutely insane. And I think it was Aledi came P4 in that entire thing because I think he was also coming to the top of that as well. I think he was the one that got absolutely like. I think someone licked the stamp and absolutely sent it into him.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say I didn't mention anything about the Division 2 Belgian race. I'm above that, so I'm not that much of a current people, so just so you know. But yeah, no comment on the Belgian race.
So onto the results. In last place, but with 15.8%, so a good portion of the results is Division 3 for the Italy final laps. In third was Jasper being disqualified, kick-starting kind of obviously Ryan's title challenge. Yeah, which is just under a quarter. It's such a tight award, this. In second, which is where he came because of this, is Cookie crashes under the safety car at Belgium. Just quickly, actually, we do wish a speedy recovery from his ankle surgery.
Yeah, of course.
I look forward to beating him again whenever he comes back.
But then that was with 28.1, and the winner, which I'm quite glad for actually, is Verstappen, 35.1%, in a very tightly contested award, but all very iconic moments for different reasons for this season.
Verstappen definitely deserves that. Like that's one of my in all my league races. That's like one of the most heart feeling is that the word? Heart feeling moments. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best moments I've seen in league racing.
Heartwarming.
Since I've been here. Heartwarming, even, yeah. Sorry, English is my second language, boys. But, he massively deserves that one.
100%.
Yeah, I think we move on now to race of the season. And Jacob, do you want to take us through this?
I will, because one of them I ended up lagging out for and was a bit distraught on that one, but we'll go with it anyway. So
whoops.
Yeah. D1, of course, being USA. I think the amount of battling that was going on in that race, it was just struggling for me and James to try and keep up with that, and it was just absolutely insane of what was going on. I think it was definitely the closest race out of all of that. Yeah, he took, after you said, after taking the championship, Lewis just dominating by an absolute margin. But despite those those happening, I think Alphatrix got some wing damage from. I think he bottled it at the final corner.
He's won like a couple times.
Yeah, and that's how Lewis managed to take the absolute stonker of a win, but still wasn't enough. The amount of close battling that was going on, Montana and Lewis, I think, were also battling at the time. It was just absolute. It was a great race to commentate on, and I can see why that was definitely the race of the season for USA for D1. D2 being Singapore, as I said, the one that I lagged out on. I don't know much about that race. I mean, do you guys know about what happened in that race?
Yeah, this was a mad race. I think the strategies played a big role. The safety cars played a big role. I think the top three, me, Dan, and Killer, I think we were separated for like less than a second for the last 10 or so laps. It's crazy. You had me and Mark battling, people down the midfield battling. It was chaos. I think I had a few hairy moments, nearly hit the wall a couple of times, but I think top by the end of the race, top three was across the line like 2/10 difference between the three. It was crazy. And of course, Cookie spun he last after turn one in that race, which was also another big moment in the championship. But that was a fun race. I think Mark can agree because we had a nice little battle. It was a really fun race.
That was fun, and there was a safety car where I didn't go straight away, which let Killer off.
That was. I mean, when I was behind you, I was like, "This fucker's just slowing down so he can go."
All sorts of shenanigans. Two red cars very much involved in quite a bit of it.
When aren't they?
As normal.
Moving on to Division 3, of course, as I said, touched on it earlier, was the Italy race. Of course, as I said, the whole safety car restart that had happened, and everyone coming into the pits, putting on dry tyres. Ben, I was a bit, obviously, I think, distraught from that one. It led to an absolutely chaotic race, and I don't think there was any other race that could probably top the D3 Italy race in that division. I think Japan was probably a close second, but Italy, I think, it had to take the cake for that one. It was absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
I must admit.
Yeah, I didn't actually see it, so I can't really say much on it. To be fair, but, I've seen like you said, going through it. It sounds like an absolute stonker. So definitely deserves to be here.
Mark, you got any take on any of these for the D3 Italy?
No, neither. I'll be honest, I haven't seen Hungary, and obviously Italy we talked about. No, I'd be completely honest, I haven't seen either.
Yeah, I haven't seen Hungary either. So sorry, boys. Sorry.
That's actually also what I was just about to catch on with is D4 Hungary as well. I think if I remember correctly, I think this was one of Jeroen's first races, and I think he took. Am I mistaken in saying that he took the win in this? Where is he in
because
the
he came in.
title?
I remember he definitely came in and he made a big impression straight away. So he either got a podium or he won. I think he might have won. I wouldn't have been surprised because he was very quick when he first joined.
Let's take a look.
He
came second. Right. Okay. Now my memory's starting to come back to it. So it was actually the only race that Ryan B had won, and Jeroen came second. I think there was a coming together with both Ryan and Jasper, if I remember correctly. Both of those two coming together. Don as well, who took third place. I think it was the most ridiculous podium that we've seen in D4. Ryan winning it, Jeroen in second, and Don in third. Not the top two in that championship weren't in it. In fact, Ryan only just missed out, and same with Jasper. And I think what happened was that both of those came together, caused the safety car, perfect strategy for it, and Ryan, well, he ended up taking a win for it. I think it was a wet to dry condition as well. So with that happening, and Ryan, I mean, yeah, the only race of the season that he ended up taking a win for, I think that result just shows how chaotic it was for D4.
Doesn't sound like a bad race, to be fair.
Yeah, absolute chaos. But we'll get on to the results for it now anyway. So, in fourth place was the Division 4 Hungary race. In third place, Hungary had 12.5%. In third place, you had the Division 1 USA race on 17.9%. In second place was the Division 3 Italy race, which was on 23.2%. And so that means that Division 2 Singapore race on 46.4% had taken the win on that one.
The people know what they're talking about. They know what they're talking about.
Go rewatch it. Lockdown.
I've watched it back.
Yeah, I did. But...
Like a classic race. Yeah, I think this is. I don't think this is the last award. I think we have like a few sub awards, like the award that people actually voted for. But it's overtaking the season, and this is one I'm actually quite sad I'm not nominated for as well. But nominations are Schiaparelli for his overtake in Japan.
He's still there. Heldon gives him the space. Campbell now on the inside line. Repelled Heldon back in his own favour here. The Division 2 champion from last season, and Heldon has had a great race so far. They get into contact slightly. Heldon recovers the car. Schiaparelli's coming through up the inside, and he takes 2 for 1. Schiaparelli down the inside, parting of the Red Sea is through, and he's up into 7th position.
Charge is low. If we turn down the ERS deployment, we can harvest more.
Really nice overtake. Then we have J. Cole, yourself, lap 29 at Bahrain.
And he's going to look to get through though, but thankfully WatchYY's got that slipstream, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, as Jaco has a look to the inside going into 4. Round the outside, WatchYY trying to hold it against Dan. He's got that, still got some grip left in those tyres. Jaco now to the outside of turn 6. Oh, Dan, can he pull that one off? They're still side by side at the turn 7. What a move from Jaco. He gets through up ahead of ILRC Dan. Wow, that was spectacular.
Packer, lap 3 at Singapore.
Here we go. Ben looking to go around the outside of Callum. I think Callum had a bit of a mistake coming out of turn 3, but Ben, he's holding that outside line. He's not able to get through. Packer's now going to be allowed to try and go past. They're going to go 3 wide down through this chicane. Chicane? Down through the long left-hander. Packer has managed to make his way up 2 positions. Callum squeezed along in the inside. Packer's now been pushed and forced out wide on the inside, out the outside. Ben has just lost 1 position to Packer. I don't know if he's got any wing damage from that, but Packer made his way up into P2.
And Raj, lap 4 at USA.
Raj Dewey's going to stick behind, but what about Smitsky as Ryan B looks to try and go around the outside, but Raj with a beautiful little cutback to get underneath the pair of them, and now Raj and Goshikon side by side in the S's, and what a move from the Renault driver, side by side in the S's, and that is...
So obviously you people have obviously seen the footage then, so we'll just go straight into the results. In 4th we got Raj with 12.5%, then we got Packer with 16.1%, then we have Jaco, yourself, in 2nd with 30.4%, which means with a whopping 41.1% of the votes, Chappelletti's overtake in Japan, I think it was a triple overtake, wasn't it? Gets overtake of season, which I can't argue with because it was unreal.
I'll be honest. I was like, not being funny. I'm so surprised that didn't win by more. Like yours was a great overtake, but I just thought that was a slam dunk. You know, when it happened, I was like, oh, that's one. I remember even thinking, well, overtake of the season was going to be a bit flat, but yeah, to be fair, watching yours was really good as well. All of them were, but yeah, definitely one of the best overtakes. I mean, it even kind of semi banged on Twitter, to be honest, outside of the league, didn't it, when he put it up? I think people were very impressed.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. I mean, yeah, as I said, I mean, I know I'm in this award, but I mean, Chapelele, I don't think there was any contest with that. I'm surprised, I'll admit, I'm surprised at how high the amount of people actually voted for my one. Chapelele's was just, it was insane. It definitely deserved to win. A triple overtake in Japan, at the S's as well, where you wouldn't think an overtake could happen. He does a triple overtake there. I think it was out of the question who was going to take the win on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So that kind of concludes all the voted for awards. Now we have some, very quickly, just some slightly more statistically based awards. I don't know if you was in the party for this. So, Jaco, I'm going to ask you, who do you think's had the most DNFs in the whole league this season?
That's a tough one. Super Gamer's up there.
Okay.
I think Doom's up there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Super Gamer.
Okay, interestingly, in 5th place is Super Gamer with 8 DNFs.
Oh, wow.
So that's him. In
Mike?
joint 3rd place. Right, okay, yeah, he is another one as well. So you've got 3 of the 5 already. In joint 3rd place is Doom and Craigie. With 9 each. Now, this one surprised me, but it won't surprise either. He is joint 1st, but with one other person, which is Total Peas.
Oh.
With 10 DNFs each.
Over 50% of the race.
That's so well done. Well done to our award winners, Ivan. I don't know.
Well deserved.
If I'm not mistaken, I think
know.
Total P's only raced about 12 or 13 races as well.
Blimey. So yeah, Peas. Peas.
You've not done
Peas
McLaren any
drive a bit
justice.
better. Yeah. Fan of the year. There's 3 votes. There's Gary's mates. Jav for Ryan. And the winner, which is Frankie, Jasper's dad, who always comes on to support his son. Big Frank, why not?
Big Frank
So,
will in the league next season.
Absolutely. I've seen footage of him on the wheel, actually. So kudos to him. And the Dirtiest Driver Award, I think we can all agree on this. With joint 1st place with DSQs is Jasper and Ibo. I personally would give Ibo this award as Dirtiest Driver of the season.
I think Ibo should be banned from the league.
Potentially, I think we've got to look into it. We'll talk about it after this.
Like DSQ in a race in Russia. We don't condone that sort of drive in this league. So Ibo might be on the way out.
Never.
Never.
Never. Yeah, I mean, it's been a bit of a long one. It'd just be nice to crack on with a new season now, wouldn't it? I feel like this is.
I think it would. Yeah.
I'd just like to point out my DMs are open for teammates for next season.
So mine. I don't know what division I'm going to be in, but mine are
I
open.
know what division I'm in. I have a few few people, but
You still doing awards for
anyone else-
teammates?
if anyone else wants to hop into the DMs, they're more than welcome. Mark is going to need a new teammate in D3 as well.
Well, no one likes me anymore because of me and Killer. So I might just end up having a race by myself.
I mean, if Division 3's at a different time, I'll just race under a different account.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh.
You could be Schmalonzo or something. Or
Seb Vettel.
Seb Vettel. Yeah, Seb Vettel fan. XX. Yeah.
Get into NSX, NSX_Vettel.
I think that's it for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it is. I think it is.
Right.
Well,
see you all next season, and
Next season, boys.
D3, you're getting it.
yeah. No. Thank you everyone for watching. Of course, there's going to be more promotions and stuff like that going out soon for the new season, probably as soon as the game comes out. So tune into that. Thank you everyone for watching, and we will catch you for the next season.
Bye.